Welcome to another session of the eXp Commercial Industrial Committee live every second and fourth Tuesday at 7 a.m. Pacific time. Today we have a very special guest, Blair Gilbert, SIOR, going to be presenting the eXp Commercial Solar Energy Program. Very exciting stuff. As we know, solar is definitely making its way, for better or for worse. You know, gotta know what's going on, and very fortunate to have Blair present it to us. And as you guys know, if you don't know about SIOR, you guys should definitely check it out. Very prestigious designation, and especially for the industrial sector. So Blair, without further ado, you can take it away.
All right, let me see if I can figure out how to do this.
Perfect. I believe I gave you sharing capabilities. There you go. Love it.
You got it?
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. Okay. So, a little twist. We're going to begin by talking about the greatest personal reason for a broker to become involved with this program. And that benefit, believe it or not, is lead generation. Yeah, I said lead generation.
Wow.
There are two significant ways to leverage the solar opportunity. The first one is to use it as an opening during your cold calls. I don't care whether you're making phone calls or knocking on doors, but instead of asking a prospect if they want to sell their property, why not ask them if you can show them a way to significantly increase the value of their property? Think about it. You're offering something of value in trade for the prospect giving you a couple of moments of their time. It's a great way to break the ice and diffuse the normal, oh no, here's another commercial broker wanting to bug me about selling my property. You can simply use Moody's or CoStar or other platforms and search for buildings that meet the criteria that we'll cover here. The second is to go back to your past clients and let them know you're still thinking about them. Tell them you've been introduced to a way that will help them decrease their expenses and increase their NOI along with the property's value, and they don't need to invest a penny. If you've an idea about what electricity costs are in that particular location, excuse me, you can even estimate the savings with the help of our partner, Dynamic Energy. What a way to reinforce your relationship, right? With your client, and then you can secure the fact that if and when they're ready to sell or expand, you'll be the first one that they call. So the following highlights the value proposition, the sustainability impact, the financial incentives, and the turnkey solution offered by the program. Solar energy significantly reduces utility bills over time and provides a very compelling cost-saving argument for property owners that are looking to decrease their operational expenses. Typically, properties equipped with solar energy systems often see an increase in value, making them more attractive to potential buyers and, for that matter, even to tenants. So by adopting solar energy, property owners can contribute to the environmental conservation, reducing carbon footprint, and also they can showcase their commitment to sustainability. Our leading solar partner, Dynamic Energy, has a 16-year history of delivering comprehensive solar energy solutions. They have installed over 925 megawatts of solar projects. They are now a subsidiary of Pattern Energy, which is a California-based company, and that gives them virtually unmatched expertise. Nationwide, they've got over 225 completed solar projects across the United States. That program demonstrates the capacity to manage and deliver on projects of various scales and locations. The program's ability to provide tailored solar solution meets the unique needs and constraints of each property. And that ensures the optimal performance and return on investment that we're looking for. As you can see, Dynamic Energy is launching or has finalized solar projects across the United States, as we show here. So what boils it down? In the community solar model, the locations can either be a large open roof or 10 or more acres of available land. The electricity is sold by Dynamic onto the grid. Dynamic owns and operates a solar array and pays the client an annual lease payment. And that varies depending upon a number of things. And typically, particularly in land situations, the landowner can reap a much larger revenue stream than they would get from grazing their land or even cropland sometimes. Preferable is marginal farmland, grazing land, cropland. It should be desert and arid or dry or mostly dry land. It's got to have a slope of less than a 10% grade. Previously cleared land is a must, and it needs to be 1 to 2 miles from an electrical transmission infrastructure. If you think about those huge towers, electrical towers that you see, those are the high power lines that can take the electricity from a solar farm. Or if it's 1 to 2 miles from a transmission station. Also, brownfield sites, abandoned industrial sites, mining land, former airports, and even other contaminated sites can be used. On the rooftop option, the site has got to have a large open roof of 100,000 square feet or more. It's got to be structurally sound and capable of supporting the solar arrays. Not all rooftops are suitable for solar instructions. Some of the factors that play into it are the orientation, shading, and obviously the structural integrity of the roof. The behind the meter BTM program, in that situation, the solar energy electricity is used to reduce or offset the site's normal electricity costs. 2 options are available. Large consumers of electricity, like Amazon distribution centers, for example, are a prime candidate for this program. So think about any large industrial building where there's a tremendous amount of activity, the distribution centers where they've got a lot of things going on all the time. This is perfect because their electric consumption is just astronomical. In those situations, the property owner can outright purchase the system and claim the tax credits if and when they're available. And those tax credits are changing continually. I know that here in Pennsylvania, we're thankfully going to have some be put in place this year. We've needed them dramatically. We've got a new governor, so thanks for him. Depending upon the solution that is chosen, the solar system can be an attractive return on investment or a key selling point for property owners that are considering long-term financial planning. This program, it's really easy for the owner to get started with the solar program. It begins with an initial constellation and goes all the way through the installation. With Dynamic has a very hassle-free approach to adopting solar energy. The leasing large commercial rooftops for solar installation really presents an attractive opportunity for property owners to generate income, save energy costs, and also to contribute to environmental sustainability. And as you know, the environmental issue becomes greater and greater by the day. From a community standpoint, the renewable energy production increases the local supply of energy. It reduces greenhouse gas emissions and the dependence on non-renewable resources. From a grid stability standpoint, distributed solar installations can help stabilize the local power grid, reduce the need for expensive infrastructure upgrades. I can't speak this morning. The solar projects can create local jobs in installation, maintenance, and monitoring as well. If the owner decides to lease the system to Dynamic, the ongoing support and maintenance services that make sure that the solar systems continue to operate efficiently and effectively are the responsibility of Dynamic. So the program is not just about installing solar panels, it's about creating a partnership with property owners to navigate the complexities of solar adoption and to ensure that they're informed and supported every step of the way. So adopting solar energy is not just a financial decision, it's joining a growing movement towards a more sustainable and responsible way of powering our world. Many corporations are increasingly using solar power in their operations. Some of those are Meta, Amazon, Apple, Walmart, and Microsoft. Those particular companies have been identified as top corporate solar users in America. I mentioned Apple before, again, because of their distribution, which is the same, Amazon, because of the distribution, which is the same with Walmart. So that's something to keep in mind. The properties with solar energy have a competitive advantage in the market, and that appeals to the environmentally conscious tenants and investors. One of the things that I've been asked about a number of times is about zoning issues. Dynamic has told me, as have a couple of other solar companies, that every situation that they've encountered, the solar farm concept has been widely and positively received by municipalities because they have the need to demonstrate a commitment to innovation, sustainability, and so that it's not just simply hasn't been an issue. So where do we go from here? Once you've got a property owner interested, set an appointment to meet with them. And yeah, you really need to meet with them because you need to see that facility if you don't already know it. There is a commercial solar input form that we have, and just give me a shout and I can send those out to you. Meeting with those property owners, typically of the site, that'll enable you to obtain the information that you need easily and completely. And once that input form is completed, you submit it for evaluation. And by the way, if you've got a location in a state that hasn't been listed, just let us know because eXp Commercial is currently exploring other vendors to expand the coverage area. Oh,
Awesome.
Frankie, I
Yeah.
forgot something.
Okay. Yeah.
On a 100,000 square foot building, depending upon the program selected, there's a referral commission that can range anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000. I don't know
Wow.
how I got that, but hey.
I want to keep that in the presentation. That's amazing. Oh
Yeah, it's very lucrative for us. And again, I mean, it positions you in a great way with your prospective clients and your past clients. And my Lord, you can earn a really nice referral commission. And that commission is paid once it isn't paid out over time. It's paid as soon as the contract is signed with the property owner. So
Beautiful.
there you go. That's pretty much it, folks.
Wowza. Well, thank you so much. I mean, it sounds like such a great opportunity for us to just have this direct access through our company because solar's coming, guys, right? It's inevitable. It's going to happen. So it's just another reason to reach out to your clients, another reason to bring up another thing to bring up during cold calls. I absolutely love everything you provided. I really appreciate it. And let's open it up for questions. If anybody has questions, I see some in the chat.
Hi, no, we were just apologizing for being late. For some reason, we had the wrong link. So we ended up figuring it out, but definitely would like the recording of the presentation so we can catch up. We'd greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, everything's posted on YouTube, but we'll definitely send you the link for sure.
And when you say YouTube, which channel? Is it an eXp commercial channel or someone's personal channel?
It's under the Jungie Group's channel.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for joining. Anybody else? Just feel free to. Oh yeah, go ahead, Daniela.
Hey, so I'm in California and solar, we have already gone through like a huge solar revolution and policy shifts and changes around solar. One of the ongoing issues with varying solar companies, it doesn't matter if you're Tesla Solar or what it is, issues with the roof structurally. So I'm curious if this program has anything like, hey, if we have, any issues with the roof, that we can go ahead and mitigate it like this. It's just one of those ongoing things in California. Somebody gets solar and then you see repair vans out there like 50 times after. And it might just be because there's so many different kinds of solar services now where, the quality has gone down. But I would love to hear that because I know for a fact here it will be an objection.
Forgive me, Daniela, but I'm not totally clear on what your question is.
No problem, Blair. I'm curious if this specific company offers any sort of maintenance or support if there are structural issues with the roof, like leaks or anything of that nature after the solar is installed. I know they have a lease, but I'm not sure if you know how much responsibility they take for the panels and like the building afterwards,
Gotcha.
after installation.
That becomes a point of negotiation in most cases. And it is part of the contract. I've seen it, excuse me, I'm sorry. I've seen it where typically the solar company, the legalese on that, Daniela, it gets kind of thick because the solar company has the criteria on which ways they will be responsible, but they also have the caveats that say, okay, in this case, in this case, in this case, we're not responsible. So that varies case by case, becomes a negotiated issue.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Blair.
Great question. Thank you.
Did that answer your question? Are you okay with that, or?
Absolutely, because if it's a part of negotiations, you can front end it. It stinks when it's not. And then the client has to deal with the issues on the back end, and it's not, there's that credibility piece, right? So if you can front end it, that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, Dynamic has become a subsidiary of one of the largest solar companies in the United States. So the credibility factor from a corporate point of view is exceptional. They're strong. Incidentally, our illustrious legal team spent literally close to 2 months going through the contract that we have with Dynamic Energy. So that was kind of an interesting exercise. we made it finally. So
That's awesome. I love it. Is there anybody else? Any other questions? We got time.
I have a question, and I'm sorry that we were a little late to the game here. I'm looking at this map as far as, I guess, these development projects. What do you have in Texas? And is there any opportunity for researching the West Texas, El Paso area?
There are, as you can see, there are a couple of projects that are in development in Texas. And there is at least one that's completed that Dynamic has done there. Can I tell you specifically where they are? No, I can't, because remember, I'm eXp Commercial. I'm not
Oh, you're
Dynamic.
fine. I know exactly where they are. But
Okay, cool.
the only reason I was asking is that we actually do have a lot of industrial opportunity now in the El Paso area. There's actually an agent here that specifically is focusing on industrial in El Paso, and a lot of these opportunities, he's been there his whole life. So as that city and region of West Texas is shifting into major development, I just learning about these solutions and what we should look for, or if there's a person maybe we could get offline and talk to, because we do have some boots on the ground there that is on the inside. And I am familiar. I sell ranches, and I work with this gentleman in El Paso that's on the call, and a lot of our ranches flip to solar, because let's face it, some ranchers are land rich, cash poor, especially those stars you see below in Houston. I know exactly where those are. They took over some rice fields. And it's one of those things. It's an opportunity, even if we don't agree with it. It's an opportunity for our clients we have to be aware of. So I'm very excited to explore this.
Lindsay, I just moved the slide. Shoot me an email. There is the input form that Dynamic has created that we're using is pretty comprehensive. So it will cover a lot of the initial questions that come up about what you need to know or what you need to provide so that Dynamic can take the next steps.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, great question. Thank you. And yeah, like we said, it's inevitable, right? So we might as well be the source of information and get paid for it. So anybody else? Any other good questions?
And again, don't forget that if you're in a state that isn't shown here, don't think that there isn't an option. Let me know, because we are talking to a couple other providers.
Yeah, we definitely want to talk about Vegas and Nevada. That project we actually mentioned last time, we would love to get a quote on that. That's
Super.
just over 100,000 square feet, so 109.
That works.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And you certainly get plenty of sun in Vegas.
That's for sure. Yeah, solar's been pretty successful out here. Hasn't broken too much in the commercial side, so it's very exciting. All right, let me check the chat. I think we're good. Anybody else? Any other questions?
I have an unrelated question.
No worries.
So I'm a newer commercial broker. I know I'm the envy of you all. And if you could go back and talk about if any one of you could offer any advice, what would be something that you wish you would have done in the first 3 quarters as a new commercial broker? I'd really love to hear it.
What a great question. Blair, you want to take that one first, or want me to, should I go first? We should, but I want to hear your side too.
Go for it, and I'll follow you up.
Okay, sweet. For me, if I could go back and redo my first 3 quarters, well, I definitely dabbled in residential. I'd sold one house and I knew I hated it, and that was it. I went straight to commercial. And if I could change that, I definitely would go straight into commercial. I wouldn't even have tried residential. Even though it was only a couple months, it still was a wasted time. I would have rather started in commercial. I also would have made it more of a point to call my SOI, even though, my friends from high school, and, at that time, nobody was going to be able to purchase commercial real estate was the justification in my brain. But their parents, their uncles, like you never know who's going to know somebody who needs a lease, a business, you know, whatever the case may be. So I would have definitely made it a point to call everybody in my contacts, everybody who I interact with, whether it's my barber, my dry cleaner, and I would have gotten my name out there more. And I would have, I did do this, but there's always room to improve. I would have called all of the brokers in my chosen asset class or any other just big brokers in town, and just to get my name out there a little bit faster. I definitely did that, but more often than not, it was just to make a deal happen because we had potential client for one of their listings. But I would have proactively done that whether I had a client or not. That way, when I did have a client, you didn't have to introduce yourself and get them on the phone. They already have your number saved. And so that's what I would say for my answer.
It's been so long ago, I'm not sure I remember.
If you had to start tomorrow from scratch.
No. When I started from scratch, it's been so long ago, I'm not sure I remember what I did.
All right.
You know, when I started, our Rolodex was our was our way of keeping track of our potential clients. And yeah, the phone sat on the desk and you dialed it. You didn't punch numbers. Anyhow, as a mentor, I have my mentees do two things or invest in two books. One is How to Master the Art of Selling Anything by Tom Hopkins. Even though it is focused on residential, he has some great ways of prospecting, approaching objections, the whole 9 yards. It's just a fantastic book. It's so literally sold millions upon millions of copies. And I can tell you that I go through that different parts of it with my mentees as we go through the program. And the other one is about business, but one of the chapters in it talks about establishing a mastermind group. And there are different levels. And one of my mentees said the other day, she said, well, you know, I'm really new. I don't have people that I can incorporate into a mastermind group. That's not really true. You do. I don't care whether you're day one in this business or day 10,000 in this business. Your associates change, but the concept of the mastermind group never does change. And what you want to do is you want to affiliate with folks that are in the legal profession that may be new. You want to affiliate with people that are in the engineering world and architectural world that are new. And you want to try and find somebody that is new in the public sector, from an environmental standpoint as well. And put together a group and meet with that group once or twice a month. The book, which is How to Think and Grow, or Think and Grow Rich, suggests doing it on a weekly basis. I think that may be a little tough, but with Zoom, I think you could probably do that. But get that group together and you will be amazed at what you learn from each other. Because the new attorney is going to want to learn about real estate. You're going to want to learn about law, and the give and take just becomes irreplaceable. So
It's
that's
true. I love that. I mean, it's just like, why would a seasoned lender give the new broker any referrals? You guys want to get on somebody with your level. That way you guys grow into the industry together. I absolutely love that.
exactly,
And I did want
exactly.
to add because I definitely did this, so I didn't think to say it was something I would do differently, but you definitely need to get a mentor. You want to tour as many properties as you absolutely possibly can. And just you want to get educated in your market, right? Every morning you should be waking up and reading market reports, industry news, something to relay to your clients and speak from, educated and credibility. So just wanted to make sure I threw that in there for you too.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Thanks
yeah.
so much, both of you. That's really, really sound advice. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for the question. Anyone else? I saw some one other hand. Jeremy, did you have a question?
I didn't have a question, but you touched on it. That's one thing I was just going to mention. I'm 2 years in now. And one of the best things that I've done was actually get under a mentor. I actually used to live in Atlanta, Georgia. I drove out to Las Vegas, got under Frankie and Pam for some mentorship, and definitely has helped my career go to the next level. So that's all I wanted to add was just find a good mentor that'll help you, that works for you. Because I interviewed two other mentors, and they said all the right things, but they weren't really assisting me into getting into the right places. So just make sure you pick the right.
We'll appreciate that, Jeremy. Thank you. But yeah, it's so true, guys, especially in commercial. I mean, I know residential is similar, but commercial is just, it's such a different beast. I mean, you really need to get somebody that knows what they're doing with experience to help you break into it. It's tough. Like I had Pam and Kevin, Jeremy has me and Pam. I mean, it's how it works. I mean, I don't know anybody that started just without anybody. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's just, it would definitely help and fast track your
Yeah, absolutely.
doing deals and everything. Yeah, for sure. So thanks, Jeremy. Any other questions? Don't see any other hands. It doesn't have to be about solar. It could be about deals, something you're working on. Oh, I think I got a question coming in. Oh, never mind. Sweet. Well, does anybody have a deal they want to share? Want to talk about stats in your market? Anything? We could just go off of anything that we do in this meeting now if there's no other questions.
Frankie, if I may, since
Absolutely.
there's an opportunity here, I would be remiss if I didn't plug SIOR.
Please.
The organization is a premier commercial real estate group, period, end of statement. I'm honored to be a designee, and it wasn't easy, took a lot of hard work and took a lot of time to do it. I would think if you really want to be in the industrial space, that you should strive to obtain the designation. And again, it's not easy. It takes a lot of work, it takes a long time. But take a look at our website, sior.com, and you'll be amazed at the strength of it. One of the beauties is that if I am looking for something or I have something, we have our own international network. And I can post a have or a want on that and send it around the world, quite frankly, because we're in what, 40 some countries. I don't remember right off the top of my head. But the organization is strong, it's powerful. It's almost like eXp copied the concept of SIOR, because the way that we are able to talked to colleagues all across the United States in eXp is the way that SIOR is and has always been, which is totally different than virtually any other situation. It's the personality of eXp that is so much like SIOR was one of the biggest reasons that I came to eXp, because I knew the value of it.
Absolutely love that. Yeah, SIOR is the gold standard. I mean, especially in the industrial and office space. Obviously, that's what it stands for, right? The Society of Industrial and Office. What's the R again? Realtors, real estate,
Realtors,
realtors. That's right. So it's,
believe it or not, we are required to be a realtor, but
yeah, the same thing with CCIM, and it's interesting the way they do that. But yeah, it's such a prestigious designation because it's specifically either an industrial and office, or just an office, or just an industrial. So it's not like you can have, you know, a big land sale or, you know, retail center and throw it all into one. It needs to be in that specific asset class. So it's like you said, it's not easy. And it's correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's not just a get your designation and you're good. You have to continuously achieve a minimum commission, right? Per year to get the designation, or does it to
to
reset?
get the designation, the level varies by geography because
Area,
some
right.
areas are different. But in the greater Philadelphia marketplace, and they just changed that not too long ago. What was the requirement when I became an SIOR? I got my designation in 07. And at that point in time, you had to have GCI of $350,000 in your asset class only.
Right.
In other words, all mine had to be in industrial. It couldn't be in a little bit in retail, a little bit in all. It all had to be industrial. And I had to have that GCI 2 out of 3 consecutive years. And back in 2007, that was a struggle.
Oh, I bet. Jeez. But yeah, okay. So it's
That's my GCI, not total GCI. My
right,
GCI.
right. Yeah, that's no joke. But yeah, so thank you for correcting me. But so it's not just a one-time designation. Like you actually have to be producing in your market consistently. So that's what makes, I think, it a little bit more prestigious than some of the other ones. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. And like I totally agree. If you guys are going to strive to be in the industrial sector, SIOR should be in your sights long term for sure. I know I'm getting mine. I already started my CCIM. So once I finish my CCIM, it actually is easier to get your SIOR as long as my portfolio is in line. So I got the whole thing mapped out.
There you go.
Anybody else? Any other questions? We got a little bit more time here. Could be about anything, your deals you got going on. Questions, tenant rep, leasing, industrial, land, development, you know, whatever. Anything you guys on your mind? Now's your chance. Going once. I'm just kidding. We'll also make sure Blair, should we are you going to send the slides, or did you just want to have them reach out if they wanted a copy, or how should we do that? Are you going to
Yeah,
share the slides? I did ask. Sorry.
just shoot me an email, because I don't know how to get it back to those of you on the program today. So shoot me an email and I'll get you that input form immediately.
Beautiful. Appreciate that. And thanks again, Blair, for your time in presenting this. It's obviously a great opportunity, so we appreciate you sharing. And I'm excited to get some commissions from it. That's for sure.
Yeah, and don't overlook the opportunity of using it to do your prospecting. My goodness gracious, I think that is so valuable.
Absolutely. It's like you said, it's not just another, hey, are you ready to sell? Are you ready to buy? I'm providing something of value. Hey, just something new in our company just developed, wanted to share it with you. If you have a
Yeah.
couple minutes to hear it, like that's such a perfect opening. I love it.
Absolutely.
And to fit this criteria, if whether they want solar or not, getting them on the phone at a building at this size, I mean, that's going to be a great lead / client anyways. So
Yeah.
it's all good things from this endeavor. I love it. All right. Anybody, any last minute questions?
Just out of curiosity, and if I missed this, I'm sorry, Blair, but is it in writing in that contract that the landlord signs that states that we get paid on the sale of the solar?
That you get paid when, Jeremy?
On this, you said we get paid somewhere between 30 to 40,000 on the sale of the solar, but is that in like the contract that the landlord signs, or is that like a separate agreement with the company?
It's part of the affiliate agreement between Dynamic and eXp.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's up to 100,000 unless I misheard.
Yes.
Up to
Actually,
100,000.
it could, depending upon the situation, it could go beyond that, but yeah.
Okay. So is it a percentage or is it a flat fee?
It's, it's based upon the array and the generation,
Got it.
the way that it is generating megawatts.
Okay.
They've got a formula that I have not got committed to memory yet, but it is all based upon the power of the system. The bigger the system, the bigger the commission, basically.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
That hundred
Thank you.
thousand square feet on an industrial building typically is going to throw off about $65,000-$70,000 in referral money. And again, that's the agreement between Dynamic and eXp.
Right.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep, good question. Hey, you got to know where you get paid, guys. I mean, don't get don't get nervous about asking for commissions now. I mean, we got to ask the hard questions. So, thanks, Jeremy. Anybody else? Saw it in the chat. What CRM are you using? We just use build outs provided by eXp Commercial, and then we also have Pam has MailChimp and this other one called Moosend to help with the email campaigns. But other than that, yeah, we just use what's provided through eXp. We also have a spreadsheet. Go old school. All right, anybody else? We'll wrap this up. Got 12 minutes. Unless Blair, do you have any closing remarks for us? No?
Not that I can think of tonight.
Sweet. Well, it's been a pleasure. You absolutely crushed the presentation. Thank you guys for your time. And don't be afraid to reach out. Make sure you guys reach out to Blair for a copy of the slides, the input form, and if anything SIOR, that's your man. Hope everybody has a good day. Go lease, sell, or develop something industrial.
Thanks, Frankie. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Blair. Appreciate you.